Pessoal, é dezembro, é quase Natal e parece um bom momento para testar seu inglês, seu vocabulário de Natal. Vocês sabem definir as 3 palavras seguintes? Snowball, Christmas cracker, pantomime. Se você acha que snowball é bola de neve, errado! Se vocês pensam que Christmas cracker é um biscoito, errado! E se vocês acham que pantomime, bom, não sei se vocês vão saber o que é pantomime. Se vocês não sabem, não se preocupem, porque eu também não sabia até tipo 15 minutos atrás, quando liguei para a Charlie, que é uma professora do Cambly, que está me ajudando com esse vídeo. Vocês vão ver essa aula daqui a pouco. Há diferenças incríveis entre Natal na Inglaterra e Natal nos Estados Unidos, e vamos ver esse vocabulário tão diferente que eles têm. Eu aprendi muito. Mas antes de fazer isso, obviamente, preciso explicar o que é o Cambly, que está patrocinando esse vídeo e que trabalha muito com o canal Amigo Gringo. É uma plataforma para aprender inglês que você pode usar no computador, no celular, no tablet, no tablet, para melhorar seu inglês, conversando e aprendendo de professores nativos. Você pode escolher de qual país são seus professores, você pode ver as avaliações dos outros professores. Se vocês querem testar o Cambly, é só usar o link na descrição, o código que estão vendo aqui, para aproveitar de 15 minutos de graça, ok? Pode usar para falar com a professora de hoje, Charlie Raz, ou pode ser qualquer outra professora do país que você escolher. E depois é só entrar e você está conectado diretamente com esse professor 24 horas por dia, 7 dias por semana. Então, vamos conectar com a Charlie.
Happy Christmas, Seth.
Oh, hey, Charlie. Merry Christmas. So it is really true you guys say Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean when I say Merry Christmas?
Yeah, because we sing the carol, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes, of course. We've got off to a good start. We already have one difference. Thanks for coming back. Our last video was very popular. It got a good number of views. So everyone that's out there, I've invited Charlie back. So today we're going to talk about Christmas and Christmas vocabulary and how it might be different depending on which side of the Atlantic you're on. You can say both Happy Christmas and Merry Christmas in England, but here you sound very strange if you say Happy Christmas. I think most people would just think you're from another planet. Now here it seems like depending on how politically correct you are, you actually say Happy Holidays because not everybody celebrates Christmas. Do you have the same issue?
It's talked about as political correctness, but it's still very traditional to say Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas.
Well, the interesting thing is, here too, I just say, I'm not even Christian, but I say Merry Christmas to everybody. It doesn't really bother me. So the question is, why don't we say Merry Holidays? We should say Merry Holidays.
Doesn't alliterate, whereas it's Happy Holidays.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Okay, let's talk about this other thing that I was just reading about. Do people really understand if I say, oh, it's almost Crimbo?
Crimbo is slang for Christmas. There's even a song about it called Proper Crimbo.
Put up your Christmas tree, proper Crimbo.
Proper Crimbo.
A proper Christmas.
What is that even, proper Crimbo? That's another English word, proper.
Well, in that sense, if someone says it's proper Crimbo, it's real, it's proper.
Because that is true, proper, but we would use proper in the United States to mean almost like good behavior.
Yeah, we'd use that too, to say someone is very proper.
Now, what about the guy who comes down the chimney Father Christmas, right? Because here you must know what we say here.
Yes, we've seen all the American films, so
it is Santa Claus. And in Brazil, they actually call him Father Christmas as well, Papai Noel. Father Christmas, does Father Christmas do the same thing, goes around the world and gives presents? How does that work for you guys?
Exactly. I think it's the same. He goes around in his sleigh with 8 reindeer.
With 8 reindeer, right? And they go down the chimney? Does he enter through the chimney? What about apartment buildings?
The rumor is that he has a magic key.
I guess it makes sense that if he can travel around the world in one night, he probably has some other superpowers.
Yeah.
What do children leave things for him? And what do they leave for him traditionally?
Traditionally, a mince pie and a glass of milk.
A mince pie.
Yeah.
Is that a Christmas food?
Yeah. Do you not have mince pie?
No. Is that a sweet pie? Because it seems like it'd be like made of meat.
Yeah. No, it's not meat. It's raisins and I don't know what else. And like orange and like it's like sweet fruits.
And I did read, I don't know if this is true, that sometimes instead of milk, they leave him liquor.
Brandy and a mince pie, I think.
Wow.
Brandy.
I can't believe Santa Claus even comes to the United States if there's brandy waiting for him in England. What foods would be traditional around Christmas time for you?
Snowballs.
Snowball, I've never heard of.
It's a drink, yeah.
Does Lapland play any sort of a role in Christmas?
Yes, that's where you can go and visit Father Christmas in Lapland.
That's totally insane, because isn't Lapland... Oh, because Lapland is in Scandinavia where the reindeer live.
Yeah.
It's like the northernmost part.
Uh-huh.
You know, where Santa, of course, lives on the North Pole.
He has a base in Lapland.
That's where his factories are. Yeah. I mean, it would make sense that he would be in a place that had reindeer, because otherwise, the only thing he would have on the North Pole is polar bears.
Yeah.
Which probably wouldn't be so helpful. I read about this thing called Christmas cake. Is that a thing?
Again, there's a lot of raisins at Christmas time, like in mince pie and in Christmas pudding and Christmas cake, kind of like a fruit loaf. Do you have fruit loaf in America?
No, but we have a fruit cake.
Okay, I think it's maybe the same.
I think that's the same thing.
So it's a fruit cake with a layer of marzipan and then a layer of icing. And it's usually quite thick, the layers.
Our fruit cake is just usually the fruit in a cake. It's horrible. Most people hate it. There is a reason, I think, that these things have raisins and dried fruits in them, right? Because probably 100 years ago, you couldn't get fresh fruit in the middle of the winter.
I don't know the full history, but I think it stems from lots of years ago. Yeah.
You must understand that in Brazil, Christmas is like the hottest time of the year. And I always wonder if Father Christmas is wearing all these clothes. And you know the other thing about Brazil, when do you open presents? When do children open presents on Christmas?
Straight away in the morning.
You know, the Brazilians open them the night before.
Oh, really?
What would you have as the main course on Christmas? Do you have Christmas dinner or Christmas supper? Or?
Christmas dinner, usually like mid-afternoon. So it's usually turkey, roast potatoes, and roast parsnip, sprouts.
Is that a common thing? Parsnip?
Yeah.
We have it, but I think 95% of Americans would not know what it was.
It's like a white carrot.
And I read about I saw this video with some weird thing with some sausages with some bacon around them.
Pigs in blankets.
Is that a Christmas tradition?
Yeah, I don't eat meat, but they even do vegetarian pigs in blankets, so you can still eat it. Yeah.
So this is a very interesting difference. So a pig in a blanket, we would call it a pig in a blanket or pigs in blankets, would be a little hot dog or whatever, but it would be with bread around it, not with bacon.
Yeah, I've never heard of it with bread around it. It's always bacon here.
I also read there's this thing called a Christmas cracker. I have no idea what it is.
A Christmas cracker. We usually have them on the table at Christmas dinner. So before we eat, everyone has a cracker.
The cracker is not a food. Like we think of a cracker as a food. Yeah.
You share it with someone. You each take an end and pull it apart, and it snaps apart. It's like a tube, and then whoever gets the biggest part wins what's inside the cracker.
And what's inside?
There's usually a party hat, a really bad joke, which is Christmas tradition. There's always a really bad joke in a Christmas cracker, and then usually they're usually a bit rubbish, like a toy, like a keyring or a little like miniature pen.
You have a Christmas tree, I assume. Do you call it a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
And what do you call the things you put on the Christmas tree?
Oh, Christmas ornaments, or if they're around, Christmas baubles.
What? Christmas what?
Baubles are like the round decoration.
B-A-U-B-L-E-S.
Yes.
Baubles.
Yeah.
No, I never heard. Never. I mean, I think of a bauble as like some sort of cheap jewelry or something like that. But I've never heard of it as part of a Christmas tree. Very interesting. Oh, also I saw something about a trifle. Well, I've never heard of. What is a trifle?
Trifle's great. It's a dessert. There's a layer of sponge and jam or jelly, then a layer of custard, and then a layer of cream. And sometimes you can have it. I think there's sometimes a liquor in it as well.
What other Christmas traditions are there, like entertainment or what's on TV or what's going on?
Well, you always watch like the snowman on Christmas Eve, right?
What are you talking about? I have no idea what that is.
It's a film, but there's no speaking, but it's an animation of a boy that builds a snowman, and the snowman comes to life and takes him on an adventure to see Father Christmas.
And what about the Christmas poem, like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas? You have this. Okay, that's a great one for everybody to learn. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It has a very strange contraction. 'Twas. It was. Because we don't really normally say that. What the heck is pantomime? I saw a reference to it. I have no idea what this is.
Pantomime is always a well-known story like Cinderella. The audience participates. So it's usually, as a child, it's usually the first thing you see at the theatre.
That's what pantomime is. Because for us, pantomime is acting without saying any words, like what a mime would do.
Yeah, we just call that mime.
A couple other things. What about the greenery that you might see around? Besides the Christmas tree, what other green things might be around? Like around?
The wreath.
You have wreaths?
Uh-huh.
By the way, that's a very hard word for Brazilians to pronounce, I think, wreaths, because it starts with the silent W. Do children write letters to Father Christmas?
I was always told that you put it in the chimney and it goes up to Father Christmas. My friend was like, no, that's crazy. I don't know where you've got that from. You just take it to a special Father Christmas postbox.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Don't forget to watch the snowman.
Nossa, Lapland, Crimbo. Aprendi muito hoje, espero que vocês também. Não esqueça que tem 15 minutos de graça com Cambly usando esse código ou o link na descrição. Pode usar esses 15 minutos para marcar uma aula com Charlie mesmo, especialmente se você quer aprender inglês britânico. Então, desejo para todos, e é a primeira vez na vida que vou dizer isso, Happy Christmas!